Welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. Delhi Chief Minister and National Convener of Aam Aadmi Party, Arvind Kejriwal, has skipped yet another summons by the Enforcement Directorate in liquor policy scam case. This time, he has cited Rajya Sabha elections and preparations for Republic Day celebrations as the reason. But he has also not shied away from attacking the intent of the agency yet again. Aam Aadmi Party believes that the summons are illegal and the investigating agency plans to arrest Kejriwal in this case. BJP maintains that Kejriwal is running away from his accountability because former Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia and Rajya Sabha MP Sanjay Singh, who are both arrested in this case, were mere puppets and Kejriwal is the real kingpin according to them. Even Congress, who are now allies of the Aam Aadmi Party for Lok Sabha polls, do not believe that Kejriwal has done the right thing by skipping these summons. Some Congress leaders even asked Kejriwal to step down as the Chief Minister till he can come clean. But ED still has the full authority to summon him again, also get a non-bailable warrant issued against the Delhi Chief Minister. We don't know what happens, but the question is this: for a leader of a party whose main plank was anti-corruption, what message does it send to skip summons repeatedly? Is it a message of probity or plain politics? We'll take that to our guests in just a bit, but first up, earlier today, Arvind Kejriwal has written another scathing letter to the ED and cited reasons for skipping the summons, but he has also asked for the ED to respond to him and his previous letters. He has written in his letter today that summons are motivated and issued for vexatious considerations. The summons are not clear if he is being summoned as a witness or a suspect. This is something he has raised in the past as well. He has also asked for a clarification if he is being summoned as Delhi Chief Minister or AAP convener. He further wrote that ED is playing the role of a judge, jury and executioner, which is not acceptable. He asked ED to clarify their position to understand, quote, the real intent, because he also goes on to say that he is confused if the purpose of the summons is for inquiry or to tarnish his image. Now, there seems to be a change in the tack of Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party in dealing with the summons in the liquor policy case. And why do I say that? Let's break that down for our viewers. Remember, the first time Arvind Kejriwal was summoned in this case, the liquor gate probe, was actually by the CBI on April 16, 2023. And at that time, Kejriwal did appear. He was in fact questioned for 9 hours. But since then, he has been refusing to appear. On November 2, 2023, he was summoned by the ED for the first time, which he skipped. He conducted a roadshow in Madhya Pradesh instead. On December 21 last year, Kejriwal skipped the second ED summons. He went for his Vipassana meditation course instead. And now, January 3, 2024, that is today, Kejriwal again skipped the summons. And he has, of course, in this case, cited Republic Day and RS elections as the reason. But he is also questioning the intent of the agency. The question is, why did he appear earlier against the CBI and why is he choosing to not appear anymore? The question is also, what happens next? Can a sitting Chief Minister be arrested or do they have immunity? What could the agency do if you do not respond to summons? Now, in the eyes of the law, every citizen is an ordinary citizen. There is no immunity to a Chief Minister according to the Indian Constitution. A CM can be held if a criminal offence is registered against him or her. Only the President and governors in India have some protection against arrest. But in the case of Soren, Jharkhand Chief Minister, the ED has taken no further action despite several summons being skipped. In fact, it won't be incorrect to say that Arvind Kejriwal has taken a leaf out of Soren's book, because Soren has also been skipping a lot of these summons, and it seems that Arvind Kejriwal and Soren's arguments for not appearing to the summons that they've been given is also very similar. Now, Hemant Soren, the Jharkhand Chief Minister, has skipped a whopping 7 ED summons till last month. There are other examples as well, and these cases are on the rise of leaders skipping summons now. Tejashwi Yadav, Deputy Chief Minister of Bihar, has skipped an ED summon once in land for job scam case recently. He has now been called again in a couple of days' time. Sanjay Raut, Shiv Sena UBT MP, was summoned in the Patra Chaul case in July 2022 twice. He skipped those summons. He was later raided and arrested, but of course he has been granted bail by a court since then. And now, Arvind Kejriwal, the Delhi sitting Chief Minister, has already skipped 3 ED summons so far. The question we asked today is simply this. In politics, a lot is also about probity and perception. What message does it send when you keep skipping agency summons? Is it a message of probity, or is it a message that you're playing politics on the same?
साफ बात है, मुख्यमंत्री जी को सिर्फ और सिर्फ लोकसभा चुनाव की कैंपेन से रोकने के लिए गिरफ्तार किया जा रहा है। मुख्यमंत्री जेल में रहें, लोकसभा चुनाव के अंदर कैंपेन ना कर पाएं, भारतीय जनता पार्टी को राजनीतिक फायदा हो, सिर्फ इसलिए ईडी का इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है।
एक कानूनी प्रक्रिया होती है, वो तो आपको फॉलो करनी पड़ेगी। और मेरे हिसाब से इन्होंने जो किया है वो ठीक नहीं किया है, अन्यथा किसी चीज को एक राजनीतिक पहलू दे रहे हैं।
कट्टर बेईमान अरविंद केजरीवाल जो कभी ये कहते थे कि भारत से भ्रष्टाचार को खत्म करना है, ये दीमक है। आज भारतीय राजनीति का वो भ्रष्टाचारी दीमक बन गए हैं।
Hello, Moto.
Let's go across to our guest joining us. Akshay Marathe of the Aam Aadmi Party is with us. Mahima Singh of the Congress Party. Also, AP Singh is former director in the CBI. I do thank you all for your time. A BJP representative will be with us in a bit. Akshay, I want to start with you. What is the message that Arvind Kejriwal is trying to send when he says that I want to know this, I want to know that? He has appeared for the CBI earlier exactly in this case. What is the trouble in appearing before the ED?
Shivani, your question has the answer baked right into it. Arvind Kejriwal has actually already cooperated with the Enforcement Directorate. He has sat with them for 9 hours in the past.
That was CBI.
We have cooperated. You see though that the CBI and the ED case are parallelly running. They are the same case, but the Enforcement Directorate is only investigating the money trail of the same CBI case.
Yes.
So it's not as if the cooperation in the investigative process has been denied by Aam Aadmi Party. Our leaders are already in jail. In fact, Manish Sisodia ji is in jail for the last 1 year. But in that 1 year period, we have seen no progress being made on the trial. So we don't still know whether the charges leveled against Mr. Manish Sisodia have stood the test of a judicial process.
Yeah, but
so
let's be fair, in that 1 year what has also happened.
Any evidence?
No, once again, let's be fair. In that 1 year what has also happened is that Manish Sisodia has gone back to courts repeatedly for relief, but he hasn't got it. But I want to focus not on Manish Sisodia today, I want to focus on Arvind Kejriwal. You are saying he did appear before the CBI. I still ask you again, that is a separate agency. The mandate of CBI, the mandate of ED are different. I don't need to explain this to you. What is the difficulty in appearing again to in front of the ED? None of the arguments you're making are a matter of choice. If the investigative agencies call you, you need to present yourself.
So this is a complicated issue. Just give me a couple minutes. Let me lay down all the points that the Aam Aadmi Party is making today when it comes to skipping the ED summons. Number one, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal has never been made an accused in this case.
Sure.
The BJP is saying that Arvind Kejriwal is an accused, but the Enforcement Directorate itself has not once said that Mr. Kejriwal has done any wrongdoing in this case. Okay. Number two, he is not being brought in as a witness. If the case is that Mr. Sisodia has engaged in corruption and Mr. Kejriwal is being asked to bear witness to that corruption, that has not happened. So in what capacity is the Enforcement Directorate today saying that you have to come and show up here?
But in what
if
capacity?
There is no evidence.
I get your point. In what capacity did he appear before the CBI? I'm not just understanding how come he appeared before the CBI but he's refusing to appear before the ED. What is the difficulty again?
Because we have seen that the Enforcement Directorate's credibility is in
Okay.
question.
Okay, so now you come to that
what is
argument.
happening? No, I'm not coming to that argument. It is a very consistent argument of the Aam Aadmi Party that the Lok Sabha elections are merely 3 months away. Aam Aadmi Party is a major opposition party. There is no evidence that has been produced by the agency in the court of law. Until this point, it's been 1.5 years since they have first filed this case. Several charge sheets have been filed. The trial has not proved anything. So, right before the Lok Sabha election, if you're arresting a major opposition leader or you're trying to
But
arrest a major opposition leader,
how do you know he's going to be
how do
arrested?
The BJP is saying this. The BJP has been saying it from day one that agla number Arvind Kejriwal ka aayega.
Okay.
And the BJP and the Enforcement Directorate's connection is not lost on anyone. Mr. Chhagan Bhujbal, who had an ED case against him, the court, when it was hearing the matter, the ED said we have lost the prosecution case against
Okay,
Mr.
but
Chhagan
can I
Bhujbal
just
after
ask you?
Mr. Bhujbal joined the BJP. So
Fair
the
enough,
ED
fair
and
enough.
BJP's
But
connection
Akshay,
is very clear
before
to
I
everybody.
open this up to our other guests, I just want to ask you, you may be fearing an arrest. That is a legitimate fear according to what you've just said. And you may also believe wholeheartedly that it would be a wrongful arrest, that Arvind Kejriwal is not guilty and he's anyways not an accused in this case as it stands today. My question is only this: what message are you sending by saying, oh, we don't want to be arrested, so we will not appear in front of you, or we don't think that there is any reason for me to come in front of you, so I will not come in front of you? That is not what you do. Certainly not someone of Arvind Kejriwal's pedigree, whose plank was anti-corruption, who asked for people to be arrested before he became the Chief Minister himself.
You see, Shivani, we live in a country which has a rule of law. Under the rule of law, a due process must be followed. All we are saying is, please follow the due process. Give us a reason for why you are asking us to, show up at your doorstep, to explain what the charges are against us. That is a fundamental right of any person who is being accused of anything in this country. It is
Okay.
not some, we are not trying to make up some reasons here. This is the law of the land. You have to explain why you are calling somebody to be investigated. There is nothing wrong with us saying that. And
Okay.
the Enforcement Directorate's track record is for all of us to see. Why should we trust the ED with fair intention? They have only showed bad
It's not
faith
a
in the past.
matter of whether you do
They have
trust
only
them or
showed-
not. The
it
fact
is
that you're
important.
talking about
It is-
rule of
it
law,
is
a summon is
important.
also part of that process. But I do want to go across to AP Singh. Mahima Singh, I'm coming to you in just a bit. But AP Singh, shouldn't the agency clarify?
Yeah,
Is
Shivani.
Mr. Kejriwal an accused? Is he a witness? In what capacity is he being called? Mr. Kejriwal has written 3 letters to the ED now. Does the agency, ED or CBI, need to clarify this to anybody before they call them?
No, not at all. I don't think they need any clarification. This is an excise policy matter. It was with the cabinet. Mr. Kejriwal is the Chief Minister. They can be asking him for information. What happened? How did it happen? It's not necessary that you have to be an accused to be questioned. They don't have to clarify. It depends on the questioning. If in the questioning they feel that Mr. Kejriwal is part of the conspiracy, they can go take the next step. So it all depends on what happens when they question him. But you're not going for questioning itself is not a good sign. You can always take anticipatory bail. You could have gone to the court and either got the summons quashed or taken anticipatory bail and appeared before the ED. You can always go to court. There is no problem. So instead of skipping all these summons, it was better if he had just gone to the court and got relief from there.
If fear of arrest
And
is
yes,
one of the big reasons.
Yes, he is a sitting CM. So obviously any probe agency has to take the next steps with a lot of caution. It's
Yes.
not like you can just go and arrest anybody. You have to be careful because he's a sitting chief minister.
Yeah, sure.
And there would
Absolutely.
be
And that would be the
implications.
right thing to do.
So
But I
if-
want to go across to Mahima Singh also of
Yeah,
the Congress
I
party.
mean-
Charu Pragya of the BJP is also joining us. Mahima Singh, it almost seems that on one hand, the Aam Aadmi Party keeps saying, oh, you're going to arrest us, oh, you're going to arrest us. But by skipping summon after summon, they're also almost goading the agency into arresting Arvind Kejriwal. And they want it to happen in a manner that would be possibly politically more beneficial to them if it looks like they have wrongfully or by force arrested Arvind Kejriwal. Do you sense that?
Good evening, Shivani. One of the timeless opinions of the Lord Denning, the jurist, eminent jurist known across timelines, is that may you ever be so high, the law is higher than you. So that the BJP should remember, and everybody else in this country must remember, because the procedure is above all of us, the procedure of law. And the procedure has been tempered with in this country by the ruling party at the moment, with 95%, over 95% cases in these central agencies going against the opposition. When there is an EC notice, the opposition parties on the drop of a hat being notified, but the ruling party can evade all procedure, all process, all law. So of course Mr. Kejriwal must adhere to the procedure, because the procedure is the norm, the law is above all of us. But the BJP should stop making a farce of that procedure, a farce of that law, because there's a partisan view. You see Ajit Pawar's charge sheet at ED suddenly goes into the junker because he's joined the BJP, the washing machine is active. But here we see on another leader, because he's in opposition. Name one opposition party which the BJP is not trampling. That's the norm over the past 9 years. If you're an opposition party, they are out to get you. So
but in this case, in the liquor policy case, the Congress has in the past even wanted to claim credit for raising stink over this scam. And you believe, at least as far as this case is concerned, it's a legitimate case.
My whole point is, Shivani, that even in genuine cases, people are people are able to get away with it, because this whole narrative has been set that the BJP
perception of the agencies is so bad.
Absolutely. And so the public, the leaders, the citizens of this country have begun to take these agencies for granted, which is not good for the democracy, for the whole legal point of view of the law of land.
Right.
I think the BJP has to act in a judicious manner pertaining to these agencies. These agencies have to stop being so subservient to the ruling party.
Okay, I get that. Charu Pragya will respond to that. But as the Congress representative, Mahima saying, what do you believe? Should Arvind Kejriwal at least present himself for questioning in front of the agencies? Or should he continue to skip it?
100%. When Sonia Gandhi ji and Rahul Gandhi ji were being summoned, when we were, putting up our opinions out on the street, most opposition parties, most people actually expressed their views, although we have only stood in the interest of law, always. So we do feel that the law is above all of us, and nobody should evade the procedure of law, lest it is judiciously practiced by those who hold the authority.
The Aam Aadmi Party, for some reason, believes the procedure has not been followed because certain clarifications have not been made. I'll go back across on that point. But Charu Pragya, the problem is also this. The perception of the agencies is so poor today. Now, you could argue it's because of politics, etc. But it is so poor today that opposition leaders genuinely do not have any faith in presenting themselves, whether they cooperate, don't cooperate. Only cases against opposition leaders are being pursued with any zeal, and there are 10,000 such examples, while cases of those who join the BJP suddenly go into cold storage. Why should the opposition leaders not doubt the intentions? Charu, please unmute yourself.
My apologies. Am I audible?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. So ED and the CBI are merely doing their job, Shivani, and nobody doubts the authenticity with which our institutions work. Because when cupboards of Congress leaders are open, piles after piles of notes fall out. Today, I understand my colleague Mahima will be in a fix because she's not sure whether she should be defending her India Alliance Sathi Arvind Kejriwal ji or she is taking a Congress stand. Her words only sound confused. At the end of the day, the law is clear. Those who stand by law need to understand that when summons are issued, you respond. But what is Mr. Kejriwal doing? He is using these ED summons like a media moment, like his 15 seconds of fame. What are you doing? एक हिंदी में कहावत है, कहा जाता है चोर की दाढ़ी में तिनका. You are evading summons, not once, not twice, but thrice. And this goes on to show that you are up to something which is not straightforward. Obviously, you are up to something which is not straightforward because you still have your ministers who are sitting behind bars even today. And you've got no explanations for all the discrepancies that went on in the liquor scam.
There are too many
Please
open...
allow me a rebuttal.
Yeah, before I
Shravani.
go to Akshay back, yes, Mahima Singh, you wanted to come in.
Yeah, the BJP spokesperson is talking about confusion. Let me remind her once again, I already did Ajit Pamar's case, whether the Prime Minister is confused because before going to France, he points to a 70,000 crore charge sheet. After coming for France,
So-
it suddenly disappears into
and
the thin
because
air.
you're
And then,
yeah, so,
it is the
since you're
confusion
pointing
is in the
fingers there,
BJP.
Shivani, can I
Yes,
The
just
confusion is in
quickly
the
add something?
BJP because
Yeah,
when the
so-
BJP talks of confusion,
Mahima, I heard
it
you.
forgets
Mahima.
its own stance, which is
No,
so
it
screwed up
doesn't.
at
So,
all times.
plenty of BJP
And
leaders
then-
have been investigated and raided, and when found at
And
fault,
then-
action has been taken against them. But let's remember your reaction.
And
You
then
very
they talk
proudly
about
said
the
when
cupboards.
Sonia ji
I
was
want to come
summoned.
to the cupboards.
Sonia ji, 1 minute. Mahima, can I
want
get
to
a
come
word
to the
out,
cupboards.
please?
Please
No,
take
no,
a
we'll
rebuttal
get to the
properly.
cupboard also.
Okay,
Can we
okay,
get
let her
to the
respond,
cupboard
let her
also?
respond.
Shivani, can I speak?
You
Yeah,
made a
Charu.
point.
Mahima ji, let her respond to what you just asked her. Yes.
I have not completed my response,
So,
Shivani. I
But
was
now you
going
need
on
to.
and
You
just
need
interrupted.
to.
Let me
You're
respond.
asking
No,
certain
no.
questions to
I had
Charu.
to
Ask your
let me
question, then let her respond.
We can both continue with this tutu meme for the remaining 20 minutes if Shivani
no
likes,
tutu
but
meme,
it's
no
better.
tutu
It's
meme.
so then you wait for me to speak, and you speak when
do
it is your turn.
Maybe you do it.
You
Shivani,
raised the
allow
case.
me
One
a
second.
fair opportunity and then let her respond, please.
Okay, I'll
Allow
give you
me my
20
fair
seconds more, but please make your concise
No,
argument or question to
because
her and then
Shivani,
let
the
her
point
respond.
is that she's
20
still
seconds.
confused.
20
She's
seconds
still
and
preferring
then
to
Charu,
point
you
fingers
speak.
at the ED.
1 second.
She's still preferring to point fingers at the ED when all of them went to the Supreme Court against the ED. Supreme Court held that
She
whatever
doesn't
way
have the
the ED
patience
has
to
been
even listen
acting
to your
is
instructions
completely within
as a
its
moderator of this
right.
debate.
Okay, 1 second.
That Mahima forgets. But I'm trying to raise here is look
there
at the
is so
difference.
much
If Sonia
desperation.
ji turns up for
That
questioning,
desperation,
Congress
allow me to rebut.
proudly. Can you wait, please, Mahima? I'm trying to say something here. Shivani, may I?
Okay,
Shivani has asked the
1 second.
BJP
Mahima ji, I'm
Congress
coming to you. 1
government-
second, I can't have it like this. Charu and me, please. Charu, finish in 30 seconds, then I go across to Mahima. Please.
Absolutely. I'll be very quick. Now, Mahima ji is so proudly saying that Sonia ji turned up for questioning, but how did she turn up? You literally set the nation on fire. You put your karyakartas on the ground and you said that wreak havoc on the streets, destroy public property. It does not matter. That's how you behaved. And on the other side is your other alliance partner who believes that he can come up with reason after reason and not even turn up for summons. So you are the one who's always made a mockery of both the law and our institutions. At the
Okay.
UPA time, CBI used to be called a cage parrot. And now, because you have to turn up for questioning, you are absolutely comfortable in justifying a situation where your karyakarta has burned down the country.
Mahima Singh, 30 seconds. I need to go to Akshay back.
Person has spoken fairly for around a minute. Please do not hustle me through my response. Now, she cited a Hindi muhavra, an idiom. Let me say the BJP is in a state of khisyani billi khamba noche right now because they are not really sure of the Lok Sabha election. They've tried to manage whatever way they can and they've been able to do it in the past legislative assembly elections. Now, she was talking about the cupboards of Congress leaders. Let me remind of the times when demonetization was imposed on this country and the most number of discontinued currency was exchanged in one private bank in Gujarat by an individual having a surname Shah, who had said that this currency is from some BJP authorities, ministers. It was never investigated into. So you're in the ruling party. You can open our cupboards, but you protect your cupboards under the demonetization scam and under the current 2,000 rupee exchange scam. So
Okay, I get your point. I do need to go back to Akshay Marathe. Akshay Marathe, the question is this. Like I said earlier, no relief has been granted to two of your ministers in this case. So you cannot prima facie say that there is no case. ED is also investigating the same case. CBI is also investigating the same case. Clearly, the merits of the case exist prima facie. And there are questions on the role of the Chief Minister here in politics. How long can you evade answering those questions, either in public or via an agency?
Let me tell you how long we can evade. We can evade these questions until we join the BJP. Let me read an India Today headline. It says probe agency ED withdraws plea against Chhagan Bhujbal. This is
The
from
court
December
has
2023.
One second, Charu, let him finish. Let him finish.
Charu,
let
so
him
much
finish.
bluster, but no substance. What? Why? I don't understand. Why do you have to defend Ajit Pawar and Chhagan Bhujbal when your party has given the choicest of galis to these leaders, but now they are part of your party, and Enforcement Directorate has dropped the charges. Charu, why don't you tell me what is your relationship with Ajit Pawar? What is your relationship with Chhagan Bhujbal? What is your relationship with Chhagan Bhujbal? Why is Chhagan Bhujbal not in jail? Why is Chhagan Bhujbal not in jail? Why is Chhagan Bhujbal not in jail? Tell me what is your connection to Ajit Pawar? Just tell me that. How much money did Ajit Pawar give BJP to keep him out of the ED's watch? How much money did Ajit Pawar give BJP? How much money did you get from Ajit Pawar to keep him out of jail? You tell us, tell the nation today. With what confidence these BJP come on TV and defend Ajit Pawar? I don't understand.
Okay, I need to comment. I cannot have both of you speaking like this. One by one, please, and then everybody will get an opportunity fairly. Akshay, I get your point about the BJP's quote-unquote washing machine. What my question to you is, you are the Aam Aadmi Party, you're not the BJP, right? For you, corruption is a big issue, has been through India Against Corruption and more. My question to you is this: two of your ministers, including the minister in charge of the excise policy, has been in jail for months on end, no relief, not even bail. Shouldn't the Chief Minister be accountable for what has happened? Forget whether he thinks he's being wrongly accused or not. You have to explain your role.
Shivani, systematically, I have demolished the credibility of the agency making these allegations.
What about the courts that are refusing relief to your leaders in jail?
The courts are following the law laid by the land, which says that you have to presume guilt, not innocence. The court has to presume guilt until the trial is complete. So yes, until the trial is complete, they will be in jail. Unfortunately, that is the law.
So shouldn't the Chief Minister at least present himself in front of agencies to say, we have nothing to hide, nothing to fear. Our excise policy was made with good intent, even if it was bad, in policy. You have to present yourself. How will the public be convinced that you have nothing to hide if you don't go?
The public will be convinced because Ajit Pawar and Chhagan Bhujbal have turned out to be non-corrupt.
So you're saying that is sufficient for Arvind Kejriwal to claim innocence?
Yes, absolutely. Because the source of the allegation is by an agency that is working at the behest of the BJP. That has become amply clear now. So how should the public trust this agency? If Himanta Biswa Sarma, Suvendu Adhikari, Ajit Pawar, Chhagan Bhujbal all come out clean after they join the BJP, what is the credibility of this agency? How should we trust this agency? You want Aam Aadmi Party leaders to just walk into jail.
In jail for other cases, not just not the liquor policy. Sanjay Singh, Rajya Sabha MP, former Deputy Chief Minister.
You can take all these names.
You are saying you have no faith in the agency. I get that, but you have no faith in the fact that agencies have refused them any relief. That agencies have not questioned prima facie the case on which they have been arrested. In fact, there are adverse observations coming in. I don't think observations are that important, but they are.
Shivani, okay, let me explain what the courts have said. The courts have said that until we can prima facie say that there is innocence, we will not give them bail, and that is the law of the land. The PMLA
that is not simplistically what the courts have said. That is too simplistic a version of what the courts have said. The courts have also said that prima facie there were proceeds of crime, and it needs to be investigated who got those proceeds of crime, and there is a money trail that needs to be investigated.
No, can I clarify this? The court said in Manish Sisodia's case that 338 crore rupees were made by a private party. They have not been established that these are proceeds of crime, nor has it been established that that private party gave any money.
It is not my intention to conclude that the case has been concluded. That is not my intention at all. And obviously the case will be fought. And the case will be fought both publicly and legally. But the point is, as a sitting Chief Minister, under whose cabinet this policy was made, his policy in charge minister is in jail for nearly a year. How can you and how long can you continue to wait? You feel that the shadow of doubt over the agencies is enough for you, both publicly and legally, to get away with it? I leave that. I have final minutes left. I'll give Charu Pragya 30 seconds and I want to go across to AD Singh as well.
Shivani, so the court has also said that there is a discrepancy of 350 crore. The trail which leads to Aam Aadmi Party leaders. Maybe the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson could have touched upon that. The second question is that when you understand the law so well, why is it that your Chief Minister is not responding to the legal questions which are being posed to him by the ED? You choose not to. And lastly and most importantly, there is a procedure that is in place for the way ED or the CBI functions. You have challenged it, and the court has told you that you cannot continue to behave in this arbitrary manner. Mahima also said खिसियानी बिल्ली खंबा नोचे, तो यहाँ पर खिसियानी बिल्ली कांग्रेस है बार बार क्योंकि चुनाव आने के बाद you'll point fingers.
अजीत पवार क्या है बताइए?
To Ajit Pawar, let's talk about Ajit Pawar. So Shivani is very clear that the investigation has not concluded. Ajit Pawar's case is concluded. Have you seen the final charge sheet? Have you seen it? Because we've not seen it.
Okay, I can't go into Ajit Pawar right now, unfortunately due to paucity of time, but I do need to go across to AP Singh, former director CBI. One second, AP Singh, you know the problem that the political opponents are raising is this, that the agencies don't have enough, or their reputation is poor. But legally, I want to ask you, in such a scenario where chief ministers like Hemant Soren and now Arvind Kejriwal have skipped more than 3 summons, what is it that the agency are likely to do? What can they legally do?
I think they can go to court. They should just go to court and get an order that the chief minister needs to come and be examined by them. They can even examine him at his residence, or they can call him. The court can give that order. And I think even for Mr. Kejriwal, the best course is to go to the court and get either he gets anticipatory bail or he gets the summons squashed. There is no sense in not appearing.
But you are maintaining that the agencies don't need to clarify to him under what section, in what role, in what capacity they are calling him.
No.
Okay.
No, they are just asking him to come and they want to examine him regarding the excise policy. That would have been written in the summons.
Can I ask you also in conclusion?
What?
Yes, finish your thought.
Yeah, I was just saying that in the summons it would be written that in what connection is Mr. Kejriwal being called.
Yes.
That reference would definitely have been given.
Yeah, the file number is there. But I do want to ask you, you've heard what politically opposition parties are saying for both the CBI and the ED, and on this very show. Do you believe that there is a crisis of credibility for these agencies?
Shivani, I'm out of the picture for many years, so I would not really want to comment on that. Thank you.
Okay. Well, fair enough.
That is a comment in itself.
Fair enough. I do thank all of our guests for joining us. We don't know exactly what happens, but this is one of those political showdowns that is really nearing a crescendo as we also near the 2024 elections. Speaking of a showdown, on the other side, we discuss more on the CAA. Political barbs are back because news is that the CAA rules are sought to be notified. Is this really a push for rights by the government, or is it a poll pitch? Because this is also happening just months ahead of 2024 elections. We'll debate that on the other side.
Hello, Moto.
Co-powered by
רוצים לדעת מה עלו.
אבל ישלחו אותנו נראה לך?
שיבואו שיראו אותו, זה יותר מעניין.
שיוציאו אותי לכמה...
שיראו אותו, זה יותר מעניין.
מי אמר את זה?
לא.
מלחמת העולם השנייה משתוללת, שדורכת עלינו, הייתי מגדיר אותה צרה של נעליים של ערבים, של אנגלים, ואת הזעם שלנו, בזעם הזה שלנו גבינו במחיר יקר. יהודים שאיבדו את כל היקר להם באירופה.
לא, באמת הוא
ראשי אחר מגיע פה?
לבוא ככה, איתו? כן.
אחי, השתמשנו בהרבה.
בצמא פעמים כל הטענים, רבים למי שתקנה המפקד היותר טובה.
אחי, אתה יודע מה הטיפול באמת הכי סלו עליי?
رجال خليك شوي برجع لك لانه صار فصل.
פיר בעומק מאוד ארוך, נראה כ10 מטר, לא רואים טוב בווידאו, אבל למטה שמנו סטיק לייטים, זה מאוד עמוק, יש שם מנהרה למטה.
בצמא פעמים כל הטענים, רבים למי שתקנה המפקד היותר טובה.
אחי, אתה יודע מה הטיפול באמת?
Thanks a lot for staying with us. Now, the CAA was passed in December 2019 and it led to massive protests across the country, especially the national capital, as a section of citizens objected to the exclusion of Muslim migrants in the bill. The government has also since faced backlash from pro-CAA citizens who've been questioning the delay in the notifications of the rules under the Act, which is depriving many persecuted migrants that have come from countries surrounding India. Now, last month, Union Home Minister Amit Shah again raised the CAA pitch. While addressing a rally in West Bengal, he said that no one can stop the implementation of the Citizenship Amendment Act. And now, we're getting to know via top sources in the central government that CAA rules are finally ready. So this is what we know, that the rules are now ready. This has been long pending and they are set to be notified, and this is important, before the Lok Sabha polls are announced next. The entire process, we are being told, is going to be held online, so applicants will be able to apply using even their mobile phones. There will be a dedicated portal under the Home Ministry that will be put in place. We are being told by some sources that it's almost ready. Applicants will have to declare the year they came into India. Remember, CAA currently has a cutoff of December 2014, but no document will be sought from the applicants. If there are no documents being sought, some sort of local verification though will still be done at the district level, even though the certification or the application will be approved and the citizenship will be granted by none other than the MHA at the central level. Now, opposition is seeing Home Minister's push for Citizenship Amendment Act as poll strategy for 2024. I want to quickly run down some of the top comments that have come from opposition parties. The TMC's Shashi Panja has, for example, come out and reiterated that Mamata Banerjee, the Bengal Chief Minister, has already made it clear that there will be no CAA, at least in West Bengal. AIMIM Chief Asaduddin Owaisi has repeated that CAA is unconstitutional. This is another attempt, he says, to target Muslims ahead of elections. Congress has called it a dhoka or a betrayal before elections and part of centre's divisive politics. The left has claimed that the CAA rule notification move is nothing but communal polarization for electoral gain. So is it that, or is it just, as the centre has said in the past, a benign legislation that pushes for rights, or as the opposition claims, this is a poll pitch because it is coming back almost after 5 years, just ahead of elections?
CAA इस देश का कानून है, इसको कोई रोक नहीं सकता, सबको नागरिकता मिलने वाली है।
हमारी नेत्री ममता बनर्जी, इस राज्य के मुख्यमंत्री और तृणमूल कांग्रेस की सभा नेत्री जो है, साफ सुथरे भाषा में उन्होंने कहा कि CAA बंगाल में नहीं लागू होगा।
It will be a grave injustice, especially to the Muslims, to the Dalits, and to the especially poor people of India, irrespective of which caste and religion they belong to.
রুল টা তৈরি করবে কখন? ভোটের আগে আরেকটা ধোকা দিবে। CAA তো আইন হয়ে গেছে অনেক আগে।
Let's go across to our guest joining us. Charu Pragya from the BJP stays with us. Atikur Rahman is Islamic scholar joining us, and Mohammad Tausif Rahman is TMC spokesperson. Tausif, let me begin with you. A lot of clarifications have been made on the CAA. A lot of people have possibly come a full circle to understand that it does not affect the citizenship of anyone who's already Indian, because that was the canard spread when the CAA first came to light. And fair enough, there were some confusions over this legislation at that time. But since then, a lot of those confusions have been done away with. Why does the TMC still oppose the CAA?
I mean, you see, it is very clear. I mean, it's against the constitution. If you want the explanation, I can give it to you. You know, BJP is using a 2019 issue as the poll plank, even in 2024 process. That is an eyewash. It's a clear eyewash. BJP has kicked a self-poll mentioning CA after failing to formulate the policy for 5 years. Now you tell me, if the deadline has been pushed 9 times as per BJP, leader's admission, Union Home Minister Amit Shah has asserted that no one can stop the implementation of CAA. But his own department, the Ministry of Home Affairs, sought 9 extensions to formulate the policies on CAA since the first such extension was granted in 2020. Now, if you will tell me how it is against the Constitution, 4 years ago when CAA was passed in the parliament, opposition parties has raised their concerns about the law. At that point, the government had vehemently defended the same. But now, they have repeatedly failed to formulate a specific
But
policy on it.
they still do defend the legislation, and they believe
why the differentiate?
there
why
was a clutch of
different?
petitions that were heard in Supreme Court also. Some of those are pending on Section 6A of the
Shivani.
Act. Once again, just for the benefit of our viewers, I want to say, on Section 6A of the Act, the judgment is reserved. My question to you was slightly different. I'll come to the timing of it in just a bit. But why do you oppose it? Haven't you seen what has happened in Afghanistan? Haven't you seen that the remaining Hindus, Sikhs have had to migrate from Afghanistan? Should India not give them expedited citizenship?
I'll tell you, Shivani, why I'm against. Why we are against. Why Bengal will not allow. Why it is a clarified thing coming from Mamata Banerjee that we will not allow CA in West Bengal. It is because of the articles. It is going against the Constitution. Article 10 and 11 of the Constitution allow the Parliament to frame laws on citizenship. But those laws cannot be against the Constitution. The CAA defies Article 6 of the Constitution. The CAA 2019 does not use the term minority. Remember what I'm saying. Instead, it identifies 6 non-Muslim communities. The naming of the communities on a religion basis goes against the establishment of the Constitution principles.
I get what your point is, and of course all of these arguments are going to be contested in court. Several of them have been debated in public discourse as well, as they should well be. But the government has also clarified on that, you know, first of all, the biggest canard that was spread was that Indian Muslim citizenship will go. I hope at least all parties are on the same page that canard will not be furthered. No Indian Muslim, Hindu, Sikh, Parsi is going to lose their citizenship because of CAA. And CAA expedites the citizenship naturalization of persecuted minorities from theocratic countries around us. It does not change the norms of citizenship. That is what the government has said. So I don't understand.
Shivani, then why? Shivani.
Tasif, my question to you is this. Is it not inhuman to deny the reality of non-Muslim minorities in countries like Bangladesh, Pakistan, Afghanistan? Given our shared history in the past, is it not inhuman to deny that reality and deny them this safe haven in India?
Why don't you frame it properly? Why there is a fear monger in between the minorities and the non-minorities?
Who did the fear mongering?
There is no, it is a fear mongering. There is no kind of proper framing. Shivani, this is what we are saying. The frame should be very crystal and clear. I mean, you are telling the amendments, you are telling the policies to follow. That आप mobile में जाइए, mobile में भी करना पड़ेगा, फलाना ढकाना. But where is the framing? You people are changing. The BJP is
on the
changing
framing
9
question.
times.
On the framing question, let me go to Charu Pragya. Charu Pragya, the cutoff for this CAA relief was December 2014. We are now, almost 10 years since then. So what is the point of this relief? The relief was supposed to be for these persecuted minorities who have come before December 2014. Instead of 11 years, they were going to be naturalized in 7 years. What is the point of this act anymore? You're already too late. Charu, please unmute yourself.
Twice in one day. I'm sorry about
Go
that.
ahead.
So first, let me respond to this question of timing, and the spokesperson from TMC says that it's a poll blank. Let me tell you, there were no elections at the end of 2019. Elections had already happened. So this is obviously not a poll blank. This is something that our country believes we must do. Forming the act was to benefit people who have nowhere else to go. Forming this act were to benefit people who don't have shelter. Let me give you a simple example, Shivani, and for the benefit of the people, they'll understand it simply. There is one child who's spoiled rotten by his parents, but he wants to be adopted. And there is another child who has nowhere else to go, who's living in an orphanage with a terrible caretaker, wants to be adopted. Who is it that we are supposed to be looking after here? The brat who is already spoiled where he is, or a child who really has nowhere else to go. So what India is tried to do here is be someone who encompasses in her great compassion those who have no other home. All the countries from which these persecuted minorities are coming are Islamic countries. They are Muslim countries, and they are making sure that these minority numbers are going down year after year after year. The number of incidents we hear of little girls being kidnapped, raped, married off against their will, temples and gurdwaras being damaged. Where do these people go? They come to India.
I get the point. I don't think there are enough people who don't question the intent of the act, but there are certainly questions on what you were doing for 5 years.
Why were you waiting, Charu? Why were you not framing the articles?
Okay, let her respond. Let her respond.
Please. Yeah. So, COVID ate away into our 3 years, Shivani. We started this process in 2019 and we intend to go the whole distance with it because it is our responsibility. After 3 years, we've gotten back to framing of the rules. That has to be done carefully. We know that party after party is going to continue to challenge it in the courts. We know it. So everything that we put down on paper has to be perfectly worded. It has to be watertight. So people like the TMC, people like the Congress cannot use this for their own political benefit. This is for the people. The biggest myth and fear
it's not happening because of a political benefit.
Let Tausif come in for 30 seconds. Charu, let him come in for 30 seconds and you respond again.
Charu,
Tausif,
it is not about Trinamool Congress. It is not about the MPs, MLAs and leaders who are staying in West Bengal. It is for the people of West Bengal. Why you couldn't frame your policies? Because you are not confident with your policies.
Ration cards you're probably getting made on the sly so that
Charu, you are not confident with your policies. 9 times you people have changed your policies and you people are still waiting for that.
Let her respond. Let her respond. Don't speak over each other because then both of you will not be heard.
You have done enough fear mongering. You have talked to Indian Muslims trying to tell them that they'll be kicked out of their home. That is the idea that you are propagating. Thankfully, you stand exposed today. Every single Indian Muslim understands that CAA is nothing to do with any Indian citizen.
Can I comment on that? Before I go to, one second, Tausif, before I go to Atiq or Rahman also. Charu, have you really been able to convince people on CAA? By you, I mean the BJP and the government. Have you really? Because I see almost the same amount of opposition to CAA, if not in the same manner. Of course, what we saw in terms of those street protests, I don't want to go down into that debate. But have you really convinced people?
So, the people would be convinced, Shivani, if these so-called leaders of the opposition would not continue to fearmonger. Even now they spread this disinformation. But it's been a couple of years since 2019.
I'm giving you the amendments. I'm giving you an article, Shivani. I'm not giving any...
No, but none of us, Tausif, none of us are constitutional experts. This has been challenged in court. The court will eventually have to decide it. So that's why I don't want to go down that road because there's nothing concrete for us to add to it. You challenged it, the court will decide. One second, please don't speak in between. Charu, finish. I have to go to Atiq or Rahman.
So even the Shahi Imam has spoken in favor of CAA. From the tallest of the Muslim leaders have spoken in favor of CAA. We are not talking about religion of Indians here. This is only to give shelter to those who have nowhere else to go. And this law does not touch Indians. Or everybody needs to remember
Okay. There was indeed a lot of misinformation on this, and those people who are guilty of spreading those misinformations certainly should be ashamed of what happened at that time. But Atiq or Rahman, I'm coming to you. Do you believe Indian Muslims are more reassured today of the CAA?
Well, Shivani, the primary concern of the Muslims in India to whom we have talked and the protests we have, had at the Shaheen Bagh like things, is the CAA following by the NRC.
Yes.
The primary concern, if Charu needs to convince the Muslims, immediately the BJP should come out and say that NRC won't be followed by CAA. Half of the concerns of the Muslims primarily will be settled. Second important factor, Charu, is related to constitution and the secular ethos of the country. First time in the history of India, the government of India is framing a law which is based on communal lines. Are the Hazras and the Ahmadiyas in Pakistan and Afghanistan not a persecuted minority? Persecuted minorities do not have any religion, Shivani.
Yeah, but they're
Then
not barred. Atiq or Rahman, this was another canard that Muslims will not be able to apply for citizenship in India, even if they're religiously persecuted. A Muslim from Afghanistan, Pakistan, Bangladesh can still apply for Indian citizenship.
No, but ultimately it will be refused. And we know
It will be
that
what?
followed by NRC.
No,
what is
one second. No, citizenship cannot be, I don't know, I think you said it will be refused or something. It doesn't work like that.
No. If followed by NRC then? If
No,
followed by
once you have
NRC you are
legitimately got Indian citizenship, it cannot be taken back just like that. Certainly not
But
via
it
NRC.
But it hasn't been granted yet. And what I am telling you is the BJP, its credentials are anti-Islamic, anti-Muslim.
Okay. Because this is coming from a BJP government, that is the issue. But I do want to say, for the benefit of our viewers, this act identifies a class of non-Muslims because it's talking about 3 Islamic countries around us. Mind you, Bangladesh, Pakistan were very much part of undivided India, and Afghanistan also has Indic roots. So there are a lot of Indic religion or other non-Muslim faith individuals who have lived there for centuries. But since then, they have become Islamic theocratic countries. We have seen what has happened since the takeover of Taliban recently in Afghanistan. So we cannot deny the reality that there is a problem in these countries. They are inimical to anybody who doesn't come from the faith of Islam. And these individuals have roots in India. So India is the natural home or place where they can come if they were to be relocated. Several come with no documents, that is their life. But this act only advances the citizenship that they would have anyways got to these individuals. But any Muslim, Tausif, I'm coming to you. Any Muslim who wishes to become an Indian citizen, persecuted or otherwise, can still apply to become an Indian citizen. They just don't have an expedited citizenship. That is all. Nobody is barred from applying. Yes, Tausif.
Shivani, I like the way you're clarifying things, but actually it's not the fact. I mean, whatever you're getting from BJP, it is not in the frame.
No, read.
I mean, it's not in the frame anyways. I mean, what's my concern?
That's the act.
Charu, listen to me.
Have you read the
Charu,
act?
listen to me. I listen to you.
No, one second. You're saying what I said is not a fact. Can you please elaborate on that first? Which part is not factual?
What is our concern?
No, you first tell me what was not factual. You said what I said was not factual.
You really think when the Muslims, migrants will apply,
No, that's your opinion. That's your opinion on top of the facts. That's a separate issue. What I said is factual.
How this acts? No, this act.
One second, Tausif. I'm sorry, I take this very seriously. What I said is absolutely 100% factual. You may have your apprehensions. Okay. You can voice them.
No, I can have my apprehensions, Shivani, I understand. But this act excludes Muslim in 2 ways. It highlights the persecutions of non-Muslims in neighboring Muslim countries, and at the same time, it does not include Muslim in the list of preferred migrants. This expulsion is seen as a violation of Article 14.
I got your point.
Equality
I'm
before
saying
the law.
let the Supreme Court decide on that. The constitutional bench is...
Let me clarify my thoughts to the people.
Yeah, you said this already. My point is simply this. No Muslim is barred from applying from citizenship of India. You may think they may not apply,
the preferred list.
But that is a separate, first of all, migrants and, we don't have refugees in India. Migrants will have to apply for citizenship if they come to India. So there is no choice. If you are a migrant and you come to India, you have to apply for citizenship. Once again, my point is this, your apprehensions in one place, please do not misguide people on the facts of citizenship in India. Absolutely, you're doing it when you say what I said was not factual. Absolutely, every word I said was factual. But Charu has been wanting to commit. Charu, the problem is this, and I think Atiq Rahman did outline this. Muslims don't trust your government.
Yet Muslims from all the neighboring countries, when there is a problem in their countries, want to come to India, Shivani. And no Muslim leader or so-called secular leader in India can deny this fact. India remains a safe haven for everyone. 49 Islamic countries in the world, yet people from people from Afghanistan would rather cross 2 Islamic nations and come and seek a home and shelter in our country. The Article 14 that repeatedly my friend is quoting talks about Indians when the law has nothing to do with Indians.
Equality before law, which is not happening, Charu.
Constitution. And most importantly, and one thing which is being mis-talked about very, very often is that CAA is not a magic wand. It doesn't happen without the correct background check and papers, and it is not something.
Then what was NRC? Why the NRC got flopped in Assam? What happened in Assam?
Okay, no, I think the NRC question is a shadow hanging over the CAA. Unfortunately, I've run out of time, but we will try to take that forward. The NRC equation with the CAA and why it is making Indian Muslims or others nervous. I do thank you all for joining us and for your time. Time for me to take your leave. The hard facts is coming up.
Viewers, when it comes to the Ram Janmabhoomi movement, nothing matters to the left. Not the tide of evidence, the weight of history, or even the stamp of the Supreme Court. The left will never stop linking the consecration of the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya to Hindu supremacism. The latest to yoke the symbol of Hindu ethos to the calumny of communalism is Karnataka's senior Congress leader B.K. Hari Prasad, who says, and I quote him, "There is no history of demolishing one religious place to construct another. Let me be clear, this consecration ceremony is not a religious program.